The mysterious menu. The heavy doors of the space station restaurant opened with a quiet hiss. Bright lights reflected off silver walls. Soft music played. Elegant aliens in rich clothes sat at crystal tables, whispering and laughing. Evan Cole stepped inside, looking out of place. He was human. Dirty boots, dusty jacket, and tired eyes. He had just finished a long cargo job across 3 systems. Now he wanted one thing: a good meal. A tall alien host with golden skin and 6 fingers greeted him. "Welcome to the rare bite," the host said smoothly. "You are human, yes?" Evan nodded. "Got anything rare on the menu?" The host smiled wider. "Only the rarest." He led Evan to a private booth. The seat was made of red velvet, soft and warm. A clear dome above gave a view of distant stars and passing ships. A server approached, thin, white-eyed, wearing gloves. "Would Sir like our secret special?" "It is not on the menu." "What's in it?" Evan asked. The server simply grinned. "It is rare, alive until served, a delicacy known across 10 sectors. Only the bravest try it." Evan paused. He had eaten strange meats before: snakebird from Deluxe 9, lava eel from Mercian Moons. This didn't scare him. He shrugged. "Fine. Bring me your best." The server bowed. "One moment, sir." Minutes passed. Other guests looked toward Evan's booth. Some smirked, some looked curious, some uneasy. Finally, 2 servers arrived, pushing a covered platter as long as a table. Steam rose from beneath the lid. The air changed, warm and scented with something sweet. The lead server gave a short speech. "Ladies and gentlemen, the rarest dish of the cycle, prepared with elegance, presented live as requested." They lifted the lid. Evan froze, his breath caught in his throat. On the silver platter and was a girl. An alien girl, young and beautiful. Her skin was soft violet, her eyes large and silver. She was trembling, barely covered in golden fabric. Her arms were tied with silk cords, her legs tucked beneath her. She looked straight at Evan. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She whispered something he didn't understand. The entire restaurant went quiet. Evan looked at the waiter. "What the hell is this?" "This is the special," the server said calmly. "She's been fed fruits, massaged with oils, and kept in comfort for 3 days. She's ready." "She's not food," Evan shouted, standing up. Whispers broke. "Out." A few aliens chuckled. Some watched with cold eyes. The server leaned in. "Sir, this is our culture. She is not a person here. She is classified as exotic meat. Refusing her is rude." Evan looked back at the girl. She was breathing fast now, scared. She slowly crawled off the tray and knelt on the floor. Her hands reached toward Evan's boot. He took a step back. She gripped his leg. The moment was silent. Then Evan grabbed the table and flipped it hard. Dishes crashed. Liquid splashed. A rich alien screamed. Evan picked up the girl in his arms and ran. "Stop him," someone yelled. "The human is stealing the meal." Guards began moving. Evan ran out of the restaurant, holding the girl close. She was light, too light, and shivering. He didn't know where to go, but he knew one thing: he couldn't leave her behind. Escape into the underlevels. The metal doors slammed shut behind them. Evan held the alien girl tightly in his arms as alarms echoed through the upper halls of the space station. Red lights flashed along the corridors. Voices shouted through speakers. "Warning! Unauthorized movement detected in restricted areas. Human male carrying illegal organic cargo." He didn't stop running. The girl clung to him, trembling. Her violet skin had turned pale and her breathing was fast and shallow. He ducked into a maintenance tunnel, narrow and dark. Pipes hissed around him and steam clouds made it hard to see. He stopped to catch his breath. The girl looked up at him with those silver eyes, wide and afraid. "What's your name?" he asked softly. She didn't answer. She just shook her head and pointed down the tunnel. "You want me to keep going?" he said. She nodded. So he did. They crawled deeper into the underlevels, places not even most workers dared to enter. It smelled of oil, Metal and old death. Rats the size of cats ran in shadows. Broken machines sparked from old wires. But no cameras. No patrols. They were off the grid now. After what felt like an hour, they reached a large chamber with rusty control panels and flickering lights. Evan sat her down gently. She was still silent but no longer shaking as much. He opened a nearby storage crate and found an old blanket. He wrapped it around her. "You're safe here. For now." She looked at him, then slowly whispered, "Sia." Evan blinked. "Is that your name?" She nodded once. "Sia." Her voice was soft, rough, like she hadn't spoken in a long time. He smiled. "I'm Evan. I don't know what kind of sick place this station is, but I'm not going to let them eat you." Sia touched her collar. There was a small glowing chip on it. She pointed to it, then made a slicing motion with her fingers across her neck. "Tracker," Evan guessed. "If they follow it, they'll find us." She nodded slowly. Evan found a toolkit and carefully worked on the collar. It shocked him once, burning his hand. But finally he managed to snap it off. The light went out. Sia looked shocked, like she didn't believe it was really gone. "You're free now," Evan said. Tears welled in her eyes, but she didn't cry. She reached out and gently touched his face. Suddenly, a loud metallic growl echoed down the tunnel. They both froze. Something was coming. A long, heavy shadow crawled across the wall. A mechanical stomp. A clicking hiss. Not a person, not a guard, a security drone. Evan pulled Sia behind a stack of crates. The drone passed slowly, scanning everything with red beams. It had 4 legs, a turret on its back, and a buzzsaw for a hand. It stopped, turned, sniffed the air, with sensors. Evan held his breath. So did Sia. After 10 long seconds, the drone moved on. "We have to keep moving," Evan whispered. Sia nodded again. She stood, a little stronger this time. Then she did something unexpected. She opened a panel on the wall and began typing commands into a broken screen. Evan raised an eyebrow. "You know how to use this?" She gave a small smile and nodded. In a few seconds, the screen lit up. It showed blueprints of the space station, rooms, corridors, secret tunnels. It even showed guard movement. "You're not just a meal, are you?" Evan asked quietly. Sia looked at him and whispered, "I was technician. Before they took me." Now Evan was starting to understand. This girl wasn't just a victim. She had skills. She knew the station better than most people. And together maybe they had a chance. A real one. The screen blinked again, red dots closing in. The station knew where they were. Evan grabbed a wrench. "Then let's make them regret ever putting you on that plate." Sia's eyes gleamed with quiet fire. She reached out, pressed a hidden switch in the wall, and a new tunnel opened behind them. Together, they ran again. This time, not just for escape, but for payback. The truth about the trade inside. The hidden tunnel, Sia led Evan through narrow paths filled with humming wires and glowing lights. She moved like someone who had once called this place home. Evan followed close behind, still gripping the wrench. He could hear voices on the radio, guards searching, drones flying above, and someone mentioning the stolen dish. It made his stomach twist. They weren't hunting him for breaking a rule. They were hunting him for stealing food. But Sia wasn't food. She was alive. She was intelligent, and she was slowly becoming his reason to keep moving. After a long climb, down an old ladder, they reached a dead end, or so Evan thought. Sia pressed her hand to a cracked panel. A slow hiss followed. A metal door slid open. Inside was a small, dusty command hub. Broken chairs, flickering monitors, and a shattered screen filled the room. But one system still glowed, a half-working computer with a weak but active uplink. Sia sat down, fingers dancing on the keyboard. Evan looked around. "What is this place?" She answered softly. old admin room. They forgot it. It was mine. Before. Evan stepped closer. Before they turned you into a menu item. Sia didn't answer. Instead, the screen lit up. Lines of code, then files, then images, and then the horror. On the screen, Evan saw hundreds of files, video clips and photos, alien girls like Sia, locked in glass cages, auction tags on their arms, noble guests placing bids, fresh meat, alive. Some were crying, some unconscious, some already served. Sia clicked another folder. A document popped up. Exotic consumption permit, species. Not recognized as citizens, Evan's fists clenched. They made it legal. Sia nodded slowly. Only for aliens. Not born on core worlds. They say, we're animals. He stared at the glowing words. Is this place running an intergalactic meat market? Sia whispered. Yes. Quiet, but very rich. Suddenly, a beep echoed from the terminal. A live message was coming through. A smooth, alien voice filled the room. To all units, eliminate the human. He accessed restricted files. The meat is no longer valuable. Dispose of both. Evans' jaw tightened. They're going to kill us. Sia looked at him. Then we show truth. She pointed at an old signal relay behind the console. It can send broadcast to all ships, all systems nearby, but needs time. How much? 10 minutes. Maybe less if system breaks. Evan grabbed the chair and jammed it under the door. Then let's make sure we stay alive for 10. Footsteps echoed outside. They were coming. Evan stood in front of the door with his wrench. His hands were shaking, but not from fear, from anger. All this time he thought this galaxy had moved past cruelty. That people, no matter the species, had learned respect. He was wrong. They called Sia food. They wrapped her in golden fabric and served her to him like a piece of meat. But now she was fighting back. Sia tapped on the console, her voice trembling. Uploading proof to all networks. 5%, 10%. The power flickered. Outside, boots stomped closer. Evan looked at her. If I don't make it, send it anyway. Sia stood up, pressed her forehead to his. No, she said. We live together. Suddenly, an explosion rocked the hallway. The door burst open. Smoke filled the room. 3 armored guards rushed in with rifles. Evan charged the first one, swinging. His wrench had cracked against metal. The guard fell. Sia screamed as sparks flew. Evan got hit, once in the ribs, once on the shoulder, but he didn't stop. By the time the smoke cleared, 2 guards were down. One ran. Evan fell to his knees. Sia rushed to his side. I'm okay. He groaned. I've been through worse. Sia turned back to the console. Upload at 97%. Beeps upload complete. Across the galaxy, hundreds of ships and terminals blinked. People watched in horror as the truth played out. The videos, the menu listings, the auctions. Outrage erupted. Messages flooded back. Shutdown demanded. Investigation launched. Station leader arrested. The system had been exposed, and it had all started because a human refused to eat. The bounty hunter. The lights in the old command hub flickered as the transmission ended. Sia helped Evan stand, his shirt stained with blood. He winced but gave her a nod. We did it. The galaxy knows. But it wasn't over. A new sound echoed through the lower levels. Thump, clank, hiss, heavy footsteps. Not soldiers, not guards. Something worse. Sia's face turned pale. She whispered, one word, cracks. Evan narrowed his eyes. Whose cracks? Sia didn't answer with words. She opened a file on the screen. A bounty listing appeared. Cracks, the bone crusher species. Vicarian hybrid height. 8.3 FT armor grade. Class 5. Weapons. Multi-blade arm. Plasma spikes. Retractable claws. Bounty status. Private hunter for elite clients. Last task. Return or terminate escaped meal. Evan read the words slowly. They sent a monster to bring you back. Sia nodded, fear in her eyes. He never fails. Boom. The hallway shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Evan checked the broken panel behind the room. There's a way out. Small maintenance shaft, you go, I'll distract him. Sia grabbed his arm. No, I stay. Evan shook his head. This isn't a debate. Go. But before either of them could move, the wall across the room exploded inward. Metal flew. Sparks showered the floor. From the smoke stepped Cracks, a giant armored figure with glowing eyes, black skin under metal plates, and 3 sharp blades. For fingers. His chest armor bore the seal of a private empire. He looked at Evan, then at Sia, then growled. Meal escaped. Human interfered. Contract now includes death. Evan pushed Sia behind him. I'm not afraid of you, he said. Cracks chuckled. A deep rattling sound. You should be. He moved fast. Too fast. His arm shot forward. Evan dodged just in time, but the claws scraped his side. Blood splashed the wall. He swung his wrench. Crack. But Cracks didn't flinch. Instead, the giant grabbed Evan by the neck and lifted him. Off the ground. You are weak. Soft. Why protect her? Evan gasped for air. Because she's not food. Cracks's grip tightened. Sia screamed. Let him go. The bounty hunter turned toward her, and that's when Evan acted. Using all his strength, he jammed a power rod into Cracks's armor panel. The rod sparked. Electricity burst. Cracks roared in pain and dropped Evan. Evan fell hard, coughing. Sia ran to him. Cracks recovered quickly, his eyes burning red now. He launched toward them again. But Sia pulled a small tool from her belt. She slid beneath Cracks like a shadow and stabbed it into his back panel. There was a spark, then a blinding flash. MP surge. Cracks staggered. His armor blinked. Sia grabbed Evan and pulled him toward the shaft. Now! They slid through the small tunnel, gasping, bleeding, barely alive. Behind them, Cracks's roars echoed in fury. But for now, they had escaped. They reached a dark storage bay at the bottom of the station. Cargo crates lined the walls. The room smelled like oil and dust. Evan collapsed onto a crate. Sia sat beside him, shaking. He looked at her. You shocked him? She nodded slowly. Learned from watching engineers. Weak point, right on spine panel. Evan chuckled, then winced. Remind me not to make you angry. Sia smiled faintly, but it didn't last. The comms above crackled. Cracks's voice rumbled through the speakers. Run all you want, I will find you. The contract is bloodbound, she is meat, and you are a stain. Evan stared up, fire in his eyes. No, he said. She's a survivor. And now, we hunt you. And in that moment something changed. They were no longer just prey. They were a team. And Cracks had no idea what kind of fight he had started. The broadcast that shook the system, the cargo bay was silent. Too silent. Evan sat against a wall, pressing, a cloth to his bleeding side. His breath was ragged, chest rising and falling with effort. Across from him, Sia crouched beside an old terminal, her violet fingers flying over keys. I found something, she whispered. Evan forced his eyes open. What is it? A live comms tower, still linked to outer relay satellites, she said. Hidden under Bay 12. Most don't know it's there. Evan grinned weakly. You're full of surprises. Sia looked up. If we reach it, we can send everything. Not just the videos, the files, the names, the buyers, the suppliers. All of them. Evan tried to stand. Then let's burn them all. Minutes later, they were crawling through a half-collapsed maintenance chute. The sound of clanking metal echoed above them. Cracks was still hunting. Every step was louder, closer. Sia suddenly stopped and pointed. A rusty service ladder led down into darkness. That's it, she said. Evan nodded. You first. Bay 12 was cold. The walls were lined with broken crates and twisted steel. But in the center stood a forgotten broadcast tower. Tall, thin, and flickering with weak blue light. Evan looked at it. Will it still work? Sia placed her hand on a side panel. If I fix it, yes, but I need time. How much? She hesitated. 7 minutes, maybe less. Evan looked toward the far wall. The air shimmered. A soft, distant growl echoed. Again. Krax was coming. He touched her shoulder. You fix. I fight. Sia's eyes met his. If you die, then I'll die standing, not running. As Sia worked, her fingers moved with speed and precision. Sparks flew, wires hissed, and ancient circuits lit up. Above them, the screen flickered to life. A voice buzzed out. System detected. Connection forming. We're broadcasting. Ready. Sia smiled slightly. It's waking up. Meanwhile, Evan stacked crates near the entrance. He found a heavy pipe and held it like a bat. Then came the silence. Too silent. Then, boom. The wall shattered, like glass. Krax stormed in, eyes glowing like red suns. Evan didn't wait. He ran straight at the beast. He swung the pipe hard. Krax blocked it easily and backhanded Evan across the room. But Evan got up. He always did. Blood dripping, body screaming. He got up, Krax roared. You think this changes anything, human? Evan grinned through bloodied teeth. Yeah, I do. He dodged a claw strike, rolled under Krax's arm, and smashed the pipe into his knee. Sparks flew. Krax stumbled. Sia's voice rang out. Broadcast. At 40%. Hold on. Evan kept moving. He wasn't trying to win. He was just buying seconds. Every strike Krax threw broke something. Ribs, fingers, skin. But Evan stayed standing. Because if this message went out, it wouldn't just change Sia's life. It would change millions. Krax finally slammed him into a wall. Evan didn't rise. Sia screamed. Krax turned toward her. Now, I end this. But Evan coughed and lifted his head. Hey! Krax looked back. Evan grinned. Smile for the camera. Krax turned just as Sia hit the final command. Broadcast live. Active. The tower glowed. All screens on the station, all nearby ships, all relay systems, showed the monster in real time. The fight, the files, the auctions, the screams, the served, the truth. And then, the universe saw it all. Across starships, across colonies, across distant moons. Gasps, outrage, revolt. Nobles who had dined at the rare bite tried to cover their faces. Citizens began protests. Ships turned toward the station to shut it down. Evan fell to his knees. Krax stared at the broadcast, blinking, for once. Unsure. Sia stood slowly. Her voice echoed across the feed. This is who you really are. Not a protector, not a hunter, just a butcher. Outside, security systems failed. Internal alarms blared. Shuttles began to launch, but not to escape. They were coming to arrest the elite. The lies had burned away, and it all started with a man who refused to eat. From dish to destiny, the tower crackled and hummed. The truth had been sent. Across the galaxy, people watched in silence. Some cried, some screamed, some swore they would never allow this again. The station shook as outside patrol ships locked it down. Elite nobles tried to run, but there was nowhere left to hide. Their names and crimes were now public records. Inside the broadcast chamber, silence fell again. Krax stood still, breathing heavy. He looked at the screen, his name listed under Hunter, hired for live capture. The beast that once laughed was now exposed. He turned towards Sia, growling. But this time, he didn't charge. He lowered his weapons. Contract is dead. Krax muttered. You made it dead. Then without another word he backed away and vanished into the shadows. Sia rushed to Evan's side. He was lying against the wall, broken and bleeding. Evan, she cried, tears running down her face. Stay awake. Please. His eyes opened slowly. Hey, did we win? She laughed, half sobbing. Yes, you won. The galaxy saw everything. Evan smiled faintly. Good. I hate losing. She placed her hands over his wounds. You need help. I can carry. He coughed. You? You weigh less than a med kit. Then I'll drag you, she said, fierce now, but I'm not leaving you behind. Hours later, Evan awoke in a white hospital bed, clean and warm. His ribs were bandaged, his skin healing. A soft light buzzed overhead. He blinked. Sia was sitting by the window wearing clean clothes, real clothes, not golden cloth, not chains, just simple fabric and freedom. She turned. Their eyes met. You made it, she whispered. Evan grinned. Yes, again. She walked over, sat beside him. The galaxy knows now the market is gone, and those who ran it, they're in cages now. Good, Evan said. Now they can see how it feels. Sia pulled something from her pocket. It was a citizen card, her name printed clearly. Sia Rena, Galactic citizen. I'm not a dish anymore, she said. I'm a person. Evan looked at her, quiet for a moment. Hey, remember the first thing you said to me? She blinked. I said my name. No, before that, when they put you on that silver tray. You whispered something. I didn't understand it then. Sia smiled. I said, please don't eat me. Evan laughed, wincing. Well, I didn't. She took his hand. No, you saved me instead. Weeks passed. News spread. A human had stopped a system built on cruelty. Sia was invited to speak before councils. Evan was offered medals, but both of them declined fame. Instead, they left the spotlight. Together. Final scene. A small cafe on a green moon. No cameras, no nobles, no fear. Evan sat at a table watching Sia laugh with a group of alien children. She was smiling freely now. No more fear, no more shame. She walked over and sat across from him. I got you something, she said. She placed a plate in front of him, a perfectly cooked steak. He raised an eyebrow. It's not, she shook her head. It's made of plant protein, grown, no one hurt. He cut into it, tasted it. Not bad, he said. She leaned closer. Still, I'm glad you didn't eat me that day. He chuckled. Me too. Then, softly she added, because I wasn't served to a monster and I was rescued by a human.